Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
You saw that? You did it. Who edits these?
G Mike.
You're welcome.
Hey, G Mike.
Little brown nip for you.
Just a little nippy.
Little chocolate nippy for you.
Never heard anybody a little chocolate nip didn't.
Now, G Mike, when you're editing this and you see my nipple, don't go and keep that footage for yourself.
And don't go touching yourself in your editing chair. I don't care if you're at the Gas Digital Studios where you're allowed to touch yourself.
to the talent that you're editing for.
It's actually encouraged that we all masturbate at Gas.
Yeah, it's so you have less tension.
Right. They're like, we work these people to the bone. At least let them fucking spray the place with cum a little bit.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of the guys ever jerked off at Gas Digital.
All of them. I wonder if any of them haven't.
I wonder who the first one was.
Lewis. Ralph.
But I think I would say probably as they were decorating the place, before the walls were even up, when it was just a plan to have the studio there, right after they signed the lease, Lewis went there, jerked off, I'll bet.
I'm sure. He was like, I'm gonna jerk off first.
Ralph, I'll bet.
Fuck someone first.
Took a woman on a date. Happened to pass along the street of the studio. And
was like, do you want to stop by my studio?
It's funny, we actually just signed a lease here. And took her in and fucked her all over the studio.
Yep.
And then the next person to come at Gas Digital, I would guess. I would guess Mike Harrington.
Yeah.
I think that.
Wait, should we start our show? Hold on. We haven't done an intro. We haven't. Hold on. Before we get super into this list of who's come at your work first or second, we need to blur that nipple. We need to start the pod.
All right. Blur the nip.
Start the pod.
And let's do it.
Put in the music here. Hit it, Frank. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bruh Motherfucking Topics. I'm your host, Kim Congdon, here with my co-host.
Here with me in the heart of New York City, it's Alex Scarlato.
We're in Alex's room. We're at Casa de la Alex, and it is a fucking joy.
It's nice, right?
It's so nice. I love it.
Kimmy's been slumbering like a little angel in heaven.
I've been sleeping nipple out comfy. I've been sleeping with my nipples out. Do you know that?
Kim does this thing where she'll try really hard to keep her clothes on during sleepovers. And it's like if you're having a week's worth of sleepovers, you maybe get 2 nights of Kim having a shirt on. Before like the 3rd night, she just gets comfy. And in the middle of the night, the straps come down and the shirt goes around.
What I do is I don't like anything touching my neck or shoulder area while I sleep. The blanket stays collarbone and below. Almost like armpit and below area is what I like.
Like a towel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like anything above that. So the thought of like having this, like going like this in the middle of the night fucking drives me crazy. So
I used to sleep in a scarf in high school sometimes.
That's actually disgusting.
I used to love scarves so much. I would just wear them around my house and sometimes I'd fall asleep in them and my mom would always yell at me like, you're gonna die in your sleep.
No.
You suffocate yourself.
Well, you could have, but that's just so bothersome. I can't even actually think of that. But in the middle of the night when I'm laying next to you, I'll just pull the straps down and put my arm through
Do you watch me while you're doing it? Do you watch me to make sure I'm not going to wake up to you stripping?
Dude, it's like a stealth movie. It's like a scene in a movie where I'm trying to get away with something and I'm like, I hope she doesn't know I'm undressing next to her.
Yeah, I've had some don't wake daddy moments with you where I'm like sometimes in the middle of the night I'll wake up and if I can't fall back asleep, I'm like, I just have to smoke some weed. So I'll be staring at Kim while I'm leaning over for my weed because I also don't want her to wake up in the middle of the night to see me being a fucking disgusting fiend. Like, just like 5
I wouldn't judge
5 a.m. drugs.
In fact,
like
I'd wake up and join you.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I've been playing Don't Wake Daddy with you and tiptoeing around.
Don't wake Kimmy.
I can't believe that was a real game. Do you remember that game?
That was one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah?
Because my dad would sleep like that. My dad would sleep so fucking hard, like nothing could wake him up.
But I also feel, well, no, I don't think that's it. I think in the game,
he wakes up easily.
Dad's a mean dad, and if you wake Daddy up, everybody's gonna be in fucking
Don't
trouble.
wake Daddy before he hits us. It was the first title that they pitched, but the guy was like, no, that's a little aggressive.
I truly think that's the vibe of that game.
Don't wake Daddy. He hits Mommy.
Don't wake Daddy. He'll beat the whole family.
Daddy works hard and Mommy just sits on her lazy ass all day and can't even cook.
Dude, I wish. Right? remember the good old days before feminism.
Dude, yes.
I truly think that the feminist movement is that men tricked women into the feminist movement.
Absolutely. They were
to
like,
make that, because they were like, we can't handle all this work on our own. Like, shit's gonna shut down unless we get the women out here working. And they totally tricked us into believing it was empowerment.
yeah.
Same with OnlyFans.
Yep. Yeah.
They're like, empower yourselves, ladies. Get naked for us.
Yeah. Empower yourself so I can empower all over my pants.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're smart.
Yeah. No. I've said this about someone recently. Some people are so dumb they go full 360 smart again.
They're actually a genius because they're so fucking dumb that they can't actually. They're so careless in the error of their ways.
They're so dumb that they don't actually make a plan, and then the rest of the world thinks that they've made a plan so far ahead of them that they can't keep up. They actually circle back to the original dumb thing, and that thing actually ends up being the best plan because it's the plan you didn't think would be a plan all along. And then they think they're geniuses because of it, but they're actually so fucking stupid. Does that make sense?
I tried so hard to follow it all the way through. It definitely makes sense,
It's
but
like
we're talking in vaguenesses.
They're doing double reverse psychology without even knowing they were doing any reverse psychology.
Yes. They're thinking that they're doing things straightforward, but they're so fucking dumb that they're double reverse psychology.
They're actually
people.
geniuses by accident.
Yes.
I've ran into many of those people.
I think a lot of those people work in comedy. I think there's a lot of accidental geniuses and that's why they're funny. But it's easy to mistake them for true genius, and it's also equally easily to mistake them for being retarded. It's interesting. Yeah,
it's really interesting.
Want to light this?
Absolutely. I'm so excited.
I know, it's your first New York City blunt here.
I'm sad to be leaving tomorrow.
I can't believe that you've been here for as long as you have. It's tripping me out,
I've been here
dude.
for 9 days.
That's unbelievable.
In 2 days, it would be 2 weeks.
No. You need to move back.
4 days.
You need to move back here. I feel like this trip
5
has
days.
solidified that you absolutely need to move back here.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I know you
want
love
to-
LA,
I want
but
to do both. I really would love, like, ideally, if I could find somewhere to live in my place for 6 months and I could come here for 6 months.
that'd be great.
And, you know, not even 6 months and 6 months, but it'd be like 4 months and 4 months and then travel the rest of the time.
I like that. I like it a lot. So much stage time.
Split my year into 3 different things. New York, LA, and then a little bit of home for Florida, maybe a month of that back home, spending a month with my family, and then the other 3 months touring. Or maybe a month back home with my family, 2 months touring, and a month to wherever I want to go. Solo trips, no stand-up. Experiences only. I think that's ideal.
I like that.
3 months New York, 3 months LA, 2 months, 3, 6, 7, 8. Wait, we're missing months.
Yeah, you only accounting for half the year. Then you have 6 months for trips right now.
Honey, that sounds good. 3 months for New York, 3 months for LA, 3 months for touring, a month for Florida.
You're at 10. You got 2 months to spare.
And 2 months
Years
to do
are
whatever
long.
I want. Years are long.
But they go by so quick. Fucks me up.
I don't understand the way time works. I don't understand the way the universe works. I don't understand anything. I do know that I have some glitch in the matrices.
You do?
Yes, I brought some for us today.
I like that we're going to leave just everybody else just assume who else has come at the studio. Just make your own guesses, you know?
I forgot about that.
Paul probably hasn't.
I think everyone's already assumed who's been coming at the studio and who hasn't.
I've never come at the studio personally.
You haven't?
Could you imagine how fucking horny I would have to be fingering myself in the disgusting gas digital bathroom?
I surprisingly have not fucked a gas,
No.
which I feel like people would think I have.
I feel like it's reasonable that you haven't because the amount of obvious it would be if you had fucked a gas. Because it's like, it's not like you were ever there like alone.
Right. I mean, I was. Me and Lewis were there when it was being built.
Oh, yeah. That is surprising then because that would be the time.
I was with Lewis before gas was gas. When he was like telling me about the plans and investors
and you were
and
pretending
shit.
to care.
Yeah, and I was like, cool, sure you will.
Good luck, buddy.
Good luck, buddy, with those dreamies.
I want to hear these glitches.
Okay, I got them. Okay, I got some good glitch in the matrix. That what I just tried to say was a glitch in the matrix. Okay, so the first one I have is called I found a VHS tape of myself as a child at my in-laws' house. This
no.
this is from Jabbit 23.
Why did that fuck me up already? You can't see my hair standing on end, but they moved.
I do see them. This all started a few weeks ago when my husband decided to go into his parents' attic in the garage to see if any of his old Pokemon cards are worth any money. His mom has kept literally every toy he's ever had, so there are dozens of boxes of things that we've been going through. We found a box that clearly hasn't been opened in a long time. It was taped up and had plastic grocery bags laid on top from a store that hasn't been in our town since the 90s. It's full of his family's old VHS home videos. His parents documented so much of his childhood, so every night we've watched a home video after supper with his parents, and it's been really fun. The videos are from the late 80s, early 90s. A few nights ago, my husband put a new tape in the VHS player, and the first thing we see is my cousin's 16th birthday party from 1994, and I am in the video. His parents have no idea how they have this tape, and the weirder thing is we have no idea who filmed this tape. I've asked all my aunts and uncles, and no one knows what I'm talking about. This video also has me hunting for Easter eggs at my aunt's house in 1994. My parents never owned a video camera, so it's not their tape. It doesn't make any sense how my in-laws have this tape. We've been trying to come up with logical explanations for it, but we can't.
There's no logical explanation for that. What have you been feeding yourself, lies?
My in-laws say the box of tapes hasn't been opened since they put it in the attic when the garage was built in 2002, which is before I even met my husband, and I would have only been 11 years old when they built this garage, so it's been up there this entire time. It's not like I somehow brought this tape over and forgot about it.
I need to know so many more details. I wish that this was more detailed. I need to know how far away from each other they lived as children, because that's an important factor.
Well, I think they live in the same town because it said, so there's no chance that anybody from his family could have somehow been at her sister's Sweet 16. It said that they both had like this video store that shut down in their town, so they must be from the same town.
I mean, Blockbuster technically shut down in every town. I mean, but you wouldn't call it this video store. You have it?
Okay, I'm good. So that's fucking weird. So
I hate that. I would start to think my husband's just some kind of skinwalker or some shit.
Well,
you want to talk about them?
Well, on TikTok, I saw a really quick video of a girl who swears she remembers a skinwalker saying a secret phrase to her in the woods when she was 11.
Yep,
and she thought that it was something she had made up as an adult. And she said that when you hear that phrase again, it'll be me. And then her boyfriend said it.
Isn't that fucked up?
I would have to break up with him.
No, my hairs are all on edge.
If you had a boyfriend who was serious, would you break up with him if he said your skinwalker phrase?
I would be literally institutionalized over having a skinwalker phrase to begin with. Okay,
have you ever seen
first of all, if a skinwalker talks to me in the woods when I'm 11, I was not the type of kid to fucking hush about it. Everybody would have heard about this skinwalker and how I'm paranoid now.
Have you ever heard the way that skinwalkers sound? They sound like they're screaming for help in the woods.
No.
Do you want to hear one?
I've never heard about skinwalkers until TikTok came along.
I've heard about them for a few years.
I mean,
I've heard about skinwalkers. You know, I'm from the woods in Florida, so we've heard about skinwalkers, and they're like demons that pretend that they're humans. Some people can hear skinwalkers in their house, like you could hear, like if you were at your parents, you could hear your, like there was one story I read one time where this little girl, this girl that lived in her house heard her mom calling her from downstairs, and then when she went downstairs on the way down, her mom came out of the room and said, "Don't go, I heard it too."
Okay. I'll tell you right now, I have heard my mom calling for me while I was away at Penn State and she was in New York. It woke me up out of like I wasn't sleeping, you know, when you're just drifting off to sleep. And I heard her say, literally in like a sing-song tone, like that she hasn't used since I was a baby, but I recognize it immediately. Alexandra. Just like that. And it sounded exactly like my mom. And I got up, I looked around the entire room. I looked in the hallway. None of my friends were there.
You heard a skinwalker.
It was literally, and I never described it like that because I've never heard of a skinwalker before, but I guess they would be in Pennsylvania where there's like tons of woods and shit.
I think they're just demons. They're wherever.
Yeah?
I think so.
I feel like they're associated with the woods a lot, though. Like they wouldn't be comfortable in the city, you know?
Right now, about where the fence is at, and so behind this fence over here, there's a wood line.
This is the sound of a skinwalker, by the way.
It's about 9:48 in the night. So we just heard it scream a little bit ago. I don't know if I can don't know if you can see past this, but so behind this where I'm pointing right now, there's a forest back there, and that's a pretty big forest. It's a state park. So there's nothing that's back there that's protected. So I don't know. But we're back here, and there's this fence right here that protects my friend's yard where we're at now. And
First of all, this man should be a podcaster the way he could describe an audio for a video.
I am picturing every bit
He's
of
doing
it.
a better job than we've ever done.
Yeah.
I'll keep going. There's only like another 30 seconds.
I don't know what you'd call this, but there's a pasture out here with a bunch of trees. You can't really see. I don't know if you can see that tree or not. You see that tree right there, that fern right there? That's a fern, and then there's a bunch of other ferns all around. And then it gets more dense as you go back. But what happens is this creature comes up against this fence, and it jumps this fence. And it was standing, we think, right in this where I'm standing right now. And my friend's inside right now. But I'm getting this footage. And did you just fucking hear that? That was fucking it.
It sounds otherworldly.
That sounds fucked up.
It sounds like it's when we talk about the veil, feels like it's on another side of a veil.
If I heard, I'm trying to think, like the first part sounds like a human scream for sure. The second part, if I heard it in like a jungle, I wouldn't be like I'd be like, that's an animal.
Yeah.
I might be scared of the animal, but I wouldn't be. That's fucked up though.
This one says multiple skinwalkers scream at each other. That could be an animal. That could be an animal,
Yeah,
right?
Some of those aren't.
That one's not
That
bad.
first one's fucked up though. I really hated. I saw that TikTok too about the girl. I hated it. That's a person. That sounds just like a person. If that's what they sound like,
That's what people say they hear.
if that's what they sound like, then that's so fucked up because like that would make me nervous to even just go into the forest in an area where like people know about this, because if I actually get hurt and I'm screaming for help, nobody's gonna fucking come help me.
Right, because they're going to think it's a skinwalker.
Like that's like, it's like they're doubling down, like they're trying to fucking do whatever they do to people, but they're also endangering
But
people who
what
are actually in help. Like,
but
in
what
need of
are
help.
they?
I don't know, demons.
I hate it. I don't like it. One of my favorite TikToks, one of my first favorite TikToks really freaked. The video that made me download TikTok was so, I don't think still haven't seen a video as good as this. It was this little boy. He made this like cinematic short film, like a 45-second short film. And he was sitting by a tree. And he was looking at the fence, and he was putting his text on the screen. It said, I really want to cross that fence, but my mom says I should never cross that fence. I promised my mom I would never cross that fence. And then he's sitting there, he's like, why is she so scared of that fence? And it's just like a fence in a field, like a cow field in front of him, like a regular fence. And he gets up and he crosses the fence. And as the camera shifts from one side of the fence to the other, he's dressed in a different outfit and it's a different time. And he's staring at the fence. He goes, I wonder why my mom won't let me cross that fence, and walks back and never returns.
Weird.
How good.
Weird.
How good.
I like it.
He left the dimension, then forgot why, and never came back.
Wild.
Just hopped dimensions and was like, I wonder why my mom doesn't want me here.
But on this side, he doesn't actually cross, so he never gets it back to his original dimension. It fucks me up. That makes me think of, I don't know, I get fucked up sometimes looking in the mirror for too long.
I won't.
I truly believe that that's where you could like switch with an alternate version of yourself by accident, is like by getting drawn into the mirror too much.
I feel if I look too much into the mirror, I do suddenly feel like I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Every time. I have probably only looked deeply at myself in the mirror a handful of times my whole life because I get so freaked out. Like,
there was a trend on TikTok. There was a couple trends on TikTok. One of them being like looking in the mirror and like telling yourself like you are not me. And then your reflection would apparently like move a little bit in a way that you didn't, except in all of the videos, it just never looks like I never actually see the movement. I just see the person freak out afterward or whatever. But then when they came out with that, with the filter that makes your eyes move around weird, like in directions that you're not looking, the filter I'm talking about?
Yes.
When they came out with that, there was a whole trend where you would like
do it next to the mirror.
Yeah, you'd be next to the mirror up against your own reflection, and one of them would start looking in opposite directions. And in the comment section of those, there would always be people like, don't do this. Please don't make your reflection do something different in the mirror. Like, it's literally not good for you spiritually.
Yeah, you're giving your reflection a personality.
It's not good.
I don't know why, but it seems wrong.
It's so wrong.
It don't seem right.
It don't seem right. I also don't like those videos. Like, it's a similar filter, and I understand like people are grieving or whatever, but I hate the ones
when they put it on dead people.
They animate a dead person's picture. I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stop making it look like their eyes are moving around and stuff. That can't be good for their soul, wherever it is. Right?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know if their soul even cares. But it is weird.
It's so weird, dude.
It's weird.
And in the videos, like, I understand. Like I said, I understand the person is grieving and like they're looking at it from a completely different perspective. But the caption will always be like, it looks just like him, and I'm like, dude, it's so robotic. I know that's not your dad. Like, yeah, it's so very obvious.
They're like this.
They're like, yeah, they look like Sims. Like when you put, you choose your Sims eyebrows or whatever, and it gives you a little look.
Yeah,
I can't.
They look like the way you pose for school pictures when you were a kid, like chin up, chin down, shoulder to the left.
I'll tell you, I always hated them telling me to lift my chin.
Me too.
They always want you to take a picture like this. It's like, why you want me to be all neck, motherfucker?
I need to learn my angle still.
Me too.
Every once in a while, I'll get such good pictures, and I'm like, what am I doing there?
I see girls who know their angles. I think that the next generation, they know their angles so fucking well.
They do.
Where it's like...
Some girls, you'll notice, like, if you look on specific girls' social medias... some girls only take pictures from a specific side of their face. Like Ariana Grande does that. She has in her contracts that you can only take a video from her from one side of her face or dead center.
That's fucking crazy.
But I get it, because have you ever seen both sides of your face individually? They're two different people, Alex.
Sure.
They said on TikTok, where I get all my information.
We really are poisoned by that app.
But it's the app now. People are in denial, but it's the way we were poisoned by Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. It's the app right now. It's the one.
No, I agree. I love TikTok.
There's just always a new way to get your news, and right now it's TikTok. And I know when people laugh when I'm like, that's where I get my news. I'm like, that's where I get real news. Also, I found out that
Brian Laundrie was found, which nobody is talking about, off of TikTok, which I think is crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
Haven't you heard nothing about that besides on TikTok? Mm-hmm. Being like, well, they found him. Weird.
Super weird. Because it was such a big case.
All right, guys, let's take a quick second and talk about one of our sponsors. It's IPVanish. What is IPVanish? Well, IPVanish is a virtual private network, or a VPN for short. And a VPN is a super important tool that helps you safely browse the internet. You could use a VPN on your computers, tablets, phones, even things like your Fire Stick when you're streaming media. When you use a VPN, all your data is encrypted, what you're reading, what you're searching, what you're watching, whatever it is you're doing. This is important because what you're doing on the internet isn't my business, and it's no one else's business either. IPVanish helps you remain anonymous and secure on the internet. IPVanish is just $3.49 a month. For just $3.49 a month, or $27.99 a year, you could help protect your online privacy and security. Here's everything you get with IPVanish. Anonymous IP addresses. This means your personal IP address can't be tracked by anyone on the web. You could circumvent online censorship. IPVanish has more than 1,500 servers in 70 plus locations. You get protection when using public Wi-Fi. Remember, with IPVanish, all your data is encrypted, so no one could snoop on what you're doing. And you get 24/7 customer support. Email them, chat with them, even call them. They're always going to be there to help. These guys have been supporting the show for a while, and they've come here with an amazing deal for you guys, wanting to offer something really special. You guys are going to get 65% off IPVanish. So go to ipvanish.com/topics. That's ipvanish.com/TOPIX to claim your 65% savings. They have plans starting at just $3.49 a month or $27.99 a year. This is the time to sign up. With this discount and their current promotional offerings, you're going to get a VPN for 65% off the usual price. IPVanish is the best of the best. They're even rated 4.7 out of 5 on Trustpilot, and that's with over 6,000 reviews. Show these guys some love. They are constantly supporting the show. They support comedy. We want you guys to support them. Remember, it's ipvanish.com/TOPIX to get the deal and start protecting yourself online today. One last time, ipvanish.com/TOPIX. Use a lowercase t to get the savings. All right, let's get back to the show.
But wait, what was I saying?
You were saying that you were going to tell me about something you saw on TikTok.
I know. What were we talking about right before that?
I'm smoking this blunt. I don't know.
It's always a blunt.
Mirrors.
Mirrors. Don't do that in the mirror.
Dead people.
Oh, no. I just saw this other thing online where it's like how you're going to be able to physically touch people that aren't around soon. Like there's going to be like 2 objects you can have in each room, and they're both computer animated, and like they're full of like almost like nano laser things. And when you stick your arm in, the other object in the room has like a... So if you're going like this, the arm over there goes like this.
But it's still a robot's arm, right?
But it's what the person's doing. So they can grab your face. They can see your face in the thing.
Sure, it's like a VR thing, except the projection, instead of having like a digital projection of it, it's actually happening in another place.
It's going like if you're dating someone and they leave town and you have their robot in your closet, you're like, okay, make sure you come in and hug me every night.
Could you fuck it?
Maybe, and they could be there. Like maybe on their end, maybe they're on their end, they're fucking like a thing. But it's you controlling it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you guys both have robots of each other. You never have to even see your real world husband. There's just 2 versions of the couple.
Kind of fun.
I mean, I guess so, but I'm not even into like they have so much tech for long distance relationships, like a lamp that
you touch when you miss each other.
You like change the color of it or whatever to tell them different messages. Like,
what if the color started rapidly changing? I'm like, he's fucking someone on this lamp.
Yeah,
turns into a strobe light. Would you be suspicious that was going on if it's strobe light?
No, I would think it's malfunctioning.
Me too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think there was.
You'd have to know if you're fucking a girl with every pump is turning the light on and off in your room. Like you should be aware of that, unless my boyfriend's blind, maybe.
Yeah.
In which case, I wouldn't have the long distance lamps for him because they're not doing him any good.
What if your girlfriend's epileptic, but you want to tell her I like you, I love you, and I miss you really fast at the same time?
And you have to not use that. Then you have to get like some audio thing. Like a phone. Like, that's what I'm saying. I guess what you're saying has a lot more value than, like, sending messages to each other through a lamp, which is, like, something you could definitely do through a phone.
Right.
But still, like, if I wanted a sex dummy, I don't need it to be robotic.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm good on sex dummies. I like real penis and human.
Yeah, I like fleshy.
I'm just like
I
not
love
horny.
A fleshy penis.
I'm just like not horny like a guy where I'd need to fuck like a robot at home. It's not really what I look for sexually.
No.
I like a connection too.
Yeah.
I said I like a connection, as our big toes are just. You guys should see the way that our big toes are.
So cute, actually. I didn't notice it.
Just the very tips of me and Alex's like one big toe. Yeah, it's like this.
Touching big toes like this. It's the cutest thing you've ever seen.
And if you can't see what we're doing, it's like that pose that Jesus does, or the angels do in all the cathedral churches when they point and touch the tips.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what our big toes are doing.
It's pretty adorable, but now I'm hyper aware of it. It's like
me too. Now I can only feel it. Get off. That's so funny.
Oh no.
Oh, I have more glitches.
I want another glitch, baby girl.
I have 2 more.
Glitch me.
I'm gonna glitch you.
The first one was good. The first one was like the movie Sinister. Like, why are these tapes in my house?
Yeah, it's so good. Second one is called When I Was a Hostess at a Restaurant. I sat 2 people before they got there. I don't know if this belongs here, but I've always wanted to share this story because it keeps me up at night. When I was in college, I worked at a sports bar restaurant in Colorado. Before I was able to become a waitress, I had to be a hostess for a month. One Saturday, we got pretty busy because there was a local baseball game happening. I was seating people pretty frequently throughout the afternoon, and towards the end of the lunch, I had to rush come in to the restaurant. I remember commenting on a woman's large turquoise necklace and telling her how pretty it was as I showed them to a table on the back patio, having some useless and polite conversation with them the whole time. I went and got them waters and brought them to the table and told them their server would be with them shortly, then returned to the host stand. About 5 minutes later, the same couple walked into a restaurant and toward the host stand. I was very confused and asked if they needed to be reseated. The lady looked at me seemingly just as confused as I was, and I noticed her large turquoise necklace again. The man said, 2, please. And I instantly grabbed 2 menus and told them to follow me, thinking someone was playing a joke on me. I turned the corner to get a view out of the back patio where I sat the couple and saw the table was empty. Per the couple's request to sit outside again, I led them to the patio and noticed 2 waters and 2 menus sitting on the table already. I didn't know what to do, so I picked everything up and told them I would get them some new waters. I made my way to the bar to get the waters, and the waitress from the back patio section came up and asked if I was okay. She said that 5 minutes earlier she saw me walk 2 people to the patio holding 2 menus, so I was seating 2 people, but there was nobody there. Then I came back with waters and I put them down as if I was talking to people, but the seats were still empty. She said she was on her way to come check on me because her and other guests in the back porch were concerned about what I was doing talking to nobody. I asked if there were people there now, and she looked confused and said yes. So from what I can gather, I had talked to, and sat these 2 people before they actually came into the restaurant. I have no explanation for this, and I'm wondering if anyone else has ever had an experience like this. So the scary part about this is not this girl's mental illness that she may have. It's that she saw the people before they were there, and they were the same people.
Right. And also, I think it's like, I think it's an interesting factor, though, that they saw her talking to nobody. Because then it kind of feels like she, like, slipped into a reality where they just showed up 5 minutes earlier, and she was like somewhere between her reality and that reality. She could be seen in both. Right?
Oh, it's fucked.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked.
Why? I've had an experience of like completely seeing and feeling out everything in the room like 30 seconds before it happened, and then being able to like finish the conversation that was happening around me with everyone. But I was on acid and I had just done a little bit. So you can't actually, like, maybe in that moment the universe does pluck you to a different dimension for a second, and it truly was very real. Like, I came out and I was like, because like literally joining the dude who was talking in like the complex shit that he was saying.
He was about to say, because the stars align. You're like, because the stars align.
Yes. No, literally I said it in exactly the tone that he was saying it, in the same inflection, because I had just heard it a second earlier. I just heard everybody in the room and I was like, yep, then he's going to sit up like this. And I'm watching it happen and being like, how do I know exactly what's about to happen next? Like a girl coughs in the corner. I was like, yep, then the cough. Like I heard everything.
2 specific moments that happening to me based off strong deja vu as a kid. Just 2.
Yeah?
Yes. My mom in the car one time. I was just having really bad deja vu and I literally whispered the next thing she said to myself.
See, that's crazy. That's too strong to call it deja vu, though. Because deja vu, I feel like, is an internal feeling where you're like, I feel like this has happened before.
But the thing is,
but this was like I lived it twice. Like I lived it fully through once.
Me and my mom are living in this small town. We drive down this road all the time. She could have just been saying something at that spot because she has said it before.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it could just be something she says a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't remember even what it was, but I remember whispering it and then she said it and I was like, I remember as soon as I said it, I apologized. I was like, I won't mess with that anymore. Whatever that is. I don't want to be able to have that ability.
No.
And then at a birthday party one time, I whispered, these kids were playing with the banana, and I whispered, Tori, give me the bat. And this girl goes, Tori, give me the bat.
Weird.
Like that. And I was like,
but does it feel like deja vu too?
it feels like deja vu, and I feel like I know the next line.
And you do.
And I do.
So that but people try to say that deja vu is just like some chemical shit that's happening in your brain where like the same memory fires twice, or like you
believe that. And
see
I think that both of those times could have just been a coincidence, and that there are so many moments that happen in a lifetime that you statistically have to have a lot of coincidences.
I guess so.
If you're paying attention, and most people just don't pay attention, maybe.
So
I've tried. It's either that or deja vu is real, and so is like having like psychic intuition. But I also think it's more real for it to be a coincidence, because the number of things that happen every moment, the number of things that are happening at every single moment.
You can't coincidentally fucking know that a girl's gonna cough in a second and stuff. Like the way that it plays out.
You can, because you can be like, I've been in a room like this, the way this, like, think about it. Like I've lived 31 years. I've been in a room like this. When the paint smells like this, people cough. I noticed last time I was in a room like this, you know what I mean?
But that's so subconscious, like having.
But I think that's how deep it goes.
But are we geniuses in our subconscious then?
I think so.
It's like, do we actually low key know everything that's going on, and we just can't even fucking reach it?
A lot of the times during roast battle, some of the biggest things I've ever said, the funniest jokes I've ever written, some things where people are wowed, it is like plucked out of the ether and thrown into my mouth. It is like I have
no thought was involved,
no clue where it came from. Sometimes I say it before I realize what I'm saying, and as it comes out of my mouth and everyone laughs, I go, yeah, that was that.
That's crazy.
I have no clue.
You think that's just some shit that's in your subconscious that you would never call upon on purpose until you're kind of stressed out in the moment of like, I have to be funny. Like,
I've read somewhere it's called being in flow state.
Flow state. And I love, you ever see the movie not Inside Out, Soul?
I've started it and I fell asleep.
Soul's really good. It has like flow state as part of like a place in the ether, basically. Like it's like there's a dimension for flow state.
Yeah,
and like
it feels different.
It's really cute, actually. Like the whole movie takes place in the afterlife.
I've seen part of it. I can't really remember.
Basically, in the movie, living people who are able to achieve flow state can go there and like see people in the afterlife.
He was a jazz player that died, right?
Yeah, the jazz player. But my favorite character who can make it to flow state is just some guy who spins signs on the corner. He's just like some asshole.
He loves it.
Spinning a sign. He's amazing at it, and he gets to flow state. He's part of the gang.
I love that.
It's a really
maybe
good
I need to watch that again.
You should watch it.
Maybe
great.
I think I probably tried to put it on after I was drinking one night and just like passed out.
It's an after mushrooms movie, if anything. It's actually really good. Yeah.
Yeah, flow state. I read that. I don't remember where I read that, in a book somewhere. But yeah, sometimes I'm like shocked by the things that pop out of my head, and I'm like, where did it come from? So I don't know. Everything's weird.
I think I don't know.
The fact that I'm still dreaming the same place every night. What the fuck is that?
I know. I stopped having my really bad recurring dream but now I have a different recurring dream that's kind of fun and exciting.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good. Yours are a lot. Yeah.
Third glitch?
Let's do another glitch.
This is weird. This has been weird. Okay. First ever truly unexplainable experience while working for the census last year. This sounds good.
I don't know why the census made it feel good. Like it's going to be a good one.
Seems like more like legitimate.
Yeah.
It's like he works for the census. He would never lie. While working, my parents used to hide from the census like we were felons.
Why? Don't they just want to like have a poll of like? Isn't it just purely statistical?
Just didn't want anyone in her house.
I don't actually know what the census is for beyond that they like count the people in your house and get a gauge of like what's going on there.
It's kind of weird.
I guess so.
Some dude just comes in and goes, I'm just checking everything out for our books. It's like, no, get out.
How do you keep accurate records though without
birth certificates?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
death
your
certificates,
birth and death certificates. That's your job.
burials. Yeah,
Keep better
shit like
track
that.
of everyone.
Yeah.
You don't need to come in my house.
Maybe it's about immigration. I don't know.
I know.
So not.
And even then, I'm like, I'm not helping you track.
Yeah, I'm not gonna help you snitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a fucking snitch helper. Am I some bitch? Fuck the census. While working, someone listening to this podcast has like a deep knowledge of the census and why it's
We're
very
so stupid.
yeah.
We said this from the start. Like, Broad Topics is about us exploring broad topics. It's not to teach you guys anything.
No,
we don't know
please.
shit.
No, there probably is a really good reason for the census, but that's my first answer. And if you tweet at us,
Honestly, half the time we finish recording an episode of this show, I literally spend an hour being like, I'm so stupid.
Me too.
I'm so stupid.
there's just too many things to know. You can't know everything.
There's so much to know.
We're
And it's
both
like,
very good at the things that we do.
yeah,
And
I
that
could do
should
my
be-
job, and I'm a very emotional creature, so I'm worried about my emotions pretty much only outside of my job. And that's it. That's all I have to offer. So thanks for listening.
That's it. There's what do you want me to be? If I was good at everything in the world, I'd have to be a good nail tech, a good wax lady, a good blanket maker, a good
I could do some
tech
arts and
person.
crafts.
I could
I'm a
sing.
drug enthusiast. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt about everything. The census, like, apparently Kim says it sucks. I kind of go with what Kim says on things that I don't care about. It sucks.
So the census sucks until one of you teaches us otherwise why it's
let me
important and it's not on some snitch shit.
Tell me why it's important.
And not on some snitch
And
shit.
not on some snitch shit. Because that's what we're assuming. There's a lot of just like alleged.
Explain the census. Explain yourself, census. All right. First ever truly unexplainable experience while working for the census last year. While working as a enumerator.
Okay. Somebody who works with numbers.
I think I said that right.
Yeah.
For the 2020 census, for the first time in my life, I experienced something that genuinely made me question the nature of space and time. Ooh. I had just pulled into a parking spot a few cars down the street from the next house on my case list. I was sitting in the car checking the case notes when I noticed two women, one maybe late 20s, early 30s, and the other probably in her 50s, walk out of the house that I was supposed to visit, get in their car, park street side in front of the house and drive off. I thought, well, maybe there went my chance to talk to someone today. But I got out and walked out of the house and knocked anyways. A young girl, maybe 9 or 10, came to the door. She seemed like a smart, well-mannered kid. I said I was with the census here to conduct a census interview and asked her if her parents or any older family members were here that I could interview. She said that her mom had just left and that it was just her and her siblings, that her older sister, 12 or 13, was there, but since that was not old enough to be a census respondent, I just thanked her and left a notice of visit and said I would come back later. The house was in my case list again the next day. I was immediately weirded out to notice the lawn in the front of the house, which seemed a normal length, well kept and totally unremarkable before, was now grown up to at least a foot or so. Much of the grass was going to seed. There was a middle-aged man trying and struggling because of how tall it was to mow it with an electric lawnmower. Walking up to the steps, I called out to him and announced myself as a census worker and that I had come by yesterday. He spoke with an African or maybe Caribbean accent. The family I saw that day before was black, although the girl I talked to had no accent. He said that he was the owner of the house and had already responded to the census online a few days ago. He said that no one lived there and hadn't in years, but that he was trying to do some renovations to get it ready to rent out. I'm 100% sure it was the same house. I specifically remember the color of the columns and trim of the front porch, kind of a dark teal against otherwise white house. The very specific cast iron grill in the front door, how steep the porch was. I got a feeling when I visited the first time that something about this place was different, that there would be something about it that visit I would remember. I honestly felt and still feel really grateful I had this experience.
First of all, why?
Yeah. It's weird that she feels grateful.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's weird.
Yeah.
You could have the wrong house still. I understand that there are a lot of specific things about this house, but it's like,
This one I'm not.
Houses in the same neighborhood sometimes are just pretty much fucking carbon copies of each other.
This one I'm not falling for as much.
No.
This one it didn't get me. It could be anything. She could be confused. She could be tired. She also works for the census, so she's like
counting. She's going to everybody's house.
She's counting America, so yeah. I'm not shocked that she would be maybe a little sleep deprived.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Did I tell you what happened to me at the beach while we were reading this? It reminded me a lot of what happened. Was it when you came?
You mean
the cave?
Yeah.
Did we go in the cave?
Yeah, me and
that guy took us there, and it was different.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Yes. We talked about this on the show. It was me and you. It was completely different than you remembered it. And see, it's hard. It's
and
so
the
annoying.
only video I can't find from that day is the video that me and Sarah took calling the beach our MTV house tour, because the cave was so huge. We called it our house, and we were assigning specific bedrooms, and people were like walking in and we were like, welcome to our house. It was like so big that there was space for people to be far away,
and now there's just like 1,000-pound rocks there
and 6 inches of space.
It's crazy. It's truly crazy.
My friend Hormo said there's no way you got the right cave. And I said, we got the right cave.
But you know what? I want you to go back to that beach because something about that specific day that we were on that beach together. And I know that I like dabbled in a little bit of a toid that day. I took like a corner. But I do that kind of like often and don't feel this. And I've never been to this beach before, so I have no gauge or anything, but it felt like it was off. Like
the
entire day there felt like we were in a different dimension. I don't know how else to put it.
Every time I go to that beach.
And it was the drive through the mountains. It was like when we, like by the time we got out of the mountains, that's where we were in a different dimension.
Dude, every time I go to that beach, it is different. I've gone to that beach probably 6 or 7 times now. Always something weird happens. I told you the time that me and Lewis went and the guy washed in from the ocean.
Scrapper Joe. We saw him.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him. We saw that weird girl, the most recognizable woman on the planet. The girl with the green hair and like a fish braid, like a fishtail braid, like down to her belly button. Piercings,
400 miles
makeup
away
on the beach.
The next day.
The next day we saw her like 200 miles away.
Yes.
Like what? What? How?
And she was like weirded out when we recognized her.
Yeah, we're like, were you at El Matador Beach yesterday? And she was like, yeah, why?
No, she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, we saw you. That's so weird. And she was like, yeah. And she walked away like she got caught.
And she gave me a weird vibe.
She walked away like
she looked like a witch, first of all.
Yes.
She literally looked like a witch.
Dude, something weird is going on with that beach, because I told you about the one time me and Emily went. Me and Emily went one time. The first time I went to that beach, we went. And did we walk past the mansions when I went with you on the left side? Mm-hmm. Okay, so me and Emily did that too. But when we went, there was construction on the front balcony of a couple of mansions. So they had almost like New York style, what do they think? The
scaffolding.
Scaffolding that went almost to the shore, from the house almost to the shore, because they were like building something out for the house. It was just like the scaffolding went out pretty far and the tide was up pretty high. That's why it was close. And Emily and I went on mushrooms, and there was like, instead of sand for some reason under the we were trying to walk under it so we can go past it and go to the rest of the beach. But it was also like a cool, like, let's walk under here. The water's like rushing up. There's a bunch of rocks. And when we went inside, there was no sand anymore. Like it went from a sandy beach to a pebble beach. It suddenly was all pebbles, no sand. This beach is all different textures when I go too. Mm-hmm. So this time it's suddenly different rocks, like crazy looking rocks, like crazy colors. I am on a lot of mushrooms at this point, but they are crazy looking. Mm-hmm. Like they look insane. And the water comes up, and as it sucks back into the ocean, it makes this roaring sound because of all the pebbles, and the scaffolding is holding the sound from the water pulling the pebble back. It sounds like a pride of lions is roaring around me and Emily. It almost feels like we're in a truck and the bass is on it loud, and we can feel it
rumbling in your ear
on our hair. Like our hair was moving, and it went back and we pulled out, and we both went, like it was so overwhelming. We were like
That
overstimulated
would fuck me up
children,
on mushrooms,
and
yeah.
and it sounded so cool. We were in there for like 20 minutes just laughing. Like, and then the next time I went, that scaffolding was gone. No more pebbles. That will never happen again there.
Weird.
That guy will never wash out of the beach again. I'll never see that green-haired witch that I saw. These are 3 different trips. When I brought my sister Haley, and me and Sarah Weinschenk and Haley went, the whole beach was foggy, like a scary movie.
No.
It didn't even look like the beach. It was like rock and then ocean. We were like making these weird, scary films for fun. Like it was a scary vibe.
You'll never get back to that cave that you played in with Sarah. Or maybe you will. Who knows?
That cave was my favorite.
It's all fucked up.
It was like a beautiful painting. It was one of my favorite realities there.
I did have fun making fun of that hot girl on the beach. Remember, literally, she passed us one time. The first time she passed us, we were talking about how hot she was. Like, we just couldn't help ourselves. But under our breaths, we're like, she's so hot. I want to look like her. Like, being so nice, literally. And she heard us whispering and thought that we were talking shit. And she gave us the dirtiest fucking look. So then
Which made us laugh.
it made us laugh. Which then looked like we were making fun of her. And every time she passed us, we could not fucking help
She
ourselves.
also passed us on purpose like 16 times.
And we would look at her and whisper to each other nice things about her and watch her get mad.
As a bit. Then we started being mean about being nice to her. It'd be like, look at this hot bitch. She hates that we're talking about how hot she is. And she'd be like, ugh.
Yeah, she'd be passing her like, she's too good for him. She should dump him.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us.
Look how big. I found a picture of the cave. It still has rocks in it, but it's closer to the size of when we and Sarah went in it.
Yeah, that's big. That's wild.
That's the same.
But, I mean, what about the tide? Maybe the tide was lower that day.
This is what it looked like when we were in it. It looked like a painting.
Maybe
from the
this is
inside.
just the area that we were swimming in.
But there
were too many rocks.
But we got into... Remember that side part we had to crawl into? That's how we had to get into this one.
So then if the tide had been further out, then you could just walk around it in theory. If the tide were far enough out
but still
to make the
inside of
difference.
the cave had sand. Look, you can see how much sand. We crawled out of about here. And we hit the back wall.
Yeah.
So where is this?
I don't know.
We hit the back wall, so we're missing still so much cave. We crawled out of that hole, and to our right was rocks and wall. When in reality, it was like huge. Like we could walk in it. We were doing cartwheels in it when we first got there.
Dude, me and you were cutting our feet to get there, and there was nothing on the other end. It was very weird.
Look how big it looks from here. This is what it was like.
No.
This is what I was in.
There were 2-ton boulders in there. I don't know what to tell you.
But even in these pictures, there's different rocks in them.
Sure, but I don't think the ocean could just drag a boulder ashore like that. Can it?
Look, you can see the crawl space that we had to go through.
Like, can one of these massive rocks be moved by ocean water? I don't think so.
The thing that bothers me is that my friend's like, you went to a different cave, but this cave looks so very specific. I said it looks like a painter's canvas when you get inside.
We walked to every cave on the beach
That we could
day.
too.
If you can't walk past the houses
That's what
on
I
the
told
north end
him.
and the houses on the south end, if you
That's-
never walked past those big like
I
millionaire
never
houses,
did.
then we went to every cave.
That's what I told him.
We kept going until we came to like private property.
We need to figure out the mysteries of this cave. I say we end the podcast here.
It's so frustrating, dude.
But dude, I need a fucking explanation and I need it now.
And it's like, it's fine. I'm fine with being able to slip into different dimensions. I just
Look,
wish I
you
could
see how much
choose.
room.
I just want to be able to choose.
How fun if we could have hung out in there.
I mean, amazing.
That's what I was trying to remember. I said we can go in there and smoke a joint and sit like, and there were little rocks like this. So I was like, we could sit on a rock like back
And
here.
even so, what I'm saying is like we came around this way, right?
Yeah.
So if
No, we came like through where this black hole is. There's like a cave.
right.
Or you could go around low tide. And the first time me and Sarah went, we went around on because it was low tide.
So sure. So it's higher tide now. So it was higher tide when we went there.
Yes. Which means the water was up here, but it still doesn't explain all the rocks.
No. No, it doesn't. It truly doesn't.
Right? Or am I
No.
just an idiot?
Massive rocks, dude. I don't know. Can rocks be?
They can't move. I also got laughed at for asking that. And I'm like, I'm just trying to figure it out.
I don't know, man.
The rocks were too big.
That day was weird. That girl was really weird.
That girl was weird. Was that the day that couple was like, "Are you guys from in town?"
Mm-hmm.
That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy started following us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was like, "Are you from around here?"
And then he creeped up behind us. He was like, "Sorry, I like to go fast." And his girlfriend was like way behind us. He started asking us how long we're in town. And he was like, "We're not from here." And I was like, "You're very clearly from here."
Yeah. I didn't like it. I had a fun day that day, but it was very off.
Something's up with that beach.
Mm-hmm. We should go back.
We should go back. All right. You guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Broad Topics.
So fast.
I know. It was so fun.
It was great.
Mm-hmm. If you guys want to, I don't know where I'm going with this. Can you take over?
Yeah, sure. Head to gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use promo code TOPIX, TOPIX, for a 7-day free trial. You could get access to every show on Gas Digital Network on demand whenever you want. It's like literally like 25,000 hours of content or something fucking crazy like that. And it's affordable, so go fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, other than that, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Alex Scar. Check out Sick and Portly podcast every Monday after Legion of Skanks. And that's it.
Follow me on Twitter at Kimberly Congdon, on Instagram at Kim Congdon. Check me out on twitch.tv/QueenKong1. And I put all my show dates on my social media. So thank you guys so much.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.